Next up, we're going to learn how to sort our results. Right now, if I just do a simple select, how about just book ID, title, and author, L name from books, our data is technically in an order. It is sorted based off of the order that our data is in the database, right? If I insert something next, if I do an insert into books, I'm going to delete this row in just a moment, so I'm not going to put all the values in, but let's say I'm going to put title and author L name in. Author L name, values, and I'll just call the title My Life. And it's written by me. Last name, Steele. It doesn't matter, but my point that I want to make is that that data is inserted, it's in there, and when I select back out, I select all my my rows without any sort of sorting. That newest result is going to be at the end. By the way, you might be wondering, why did it jump to 22? I recorded this video once before. I wasn't happy with it, so I deleted some rows, 20 and 21. And so those IDs were basically taken up, and the auto increment just keeps moving on. So it's a relic from a bad recording I made that I just didn't like how the video unfolded, so I redid it. Anyway, you'll see that it's at the end here. So there is an order. It's based off of that insertion order, but that's probably not what we want. So there is an order here, but often we want to sort in some other way. Sort by the titles alphabetically, or by the last name of authors, or by the number of the release year, or the stock that we have, the quantity of each book. And the way that we do that is by using order by, and it's order space by, two different words, and it comes after our select. So we have whatever we're trying to select, and then at the end we can say, by the way, here's how I want you to order it by. Order by, and then some column name. So author L name. Let's see if it works. So here's what I had before: book ID, title, and author last name. Why don't we actually just get rid of the title just to make this a little easier to look at, and instead do author F name too. So book ID, author's first name, author's last name. And I'm going to do an order by author L name, just as my first example. And we see the order completely changes, and we get these alphabetized last names. So Carver is our first last name, and then all the way down to Steinbeck. If I instead said author first name, we now see, oh, there's null. I've got a null in there because I didn't put author first name in when I created that book. So null comes first before any of my other alphabetical values. And then we have Dan, Dave, all the way down to Raymond. So that's our first example of using order by. Just remember, it comes at the end. I've seen people make that mistake and try and do something like, select book ID, author F name, author L name, and then put order by here from books, and it just doesn't work. It's invalid SQL syntax. Now, there's a bit more to know about order by. The first thing is that it ascends, or it sorts in ascending order by default. So alphabetically, that means going from A to Z. But we can change that by saying we want descending order, DESC, which somewhat confusingly, we also use DESC to mean describe, right? When we describe a table, it's short for describe books. But when we use it after order by, let's do the same query again, order by author first name, right? We're going from A to Z. Of course, we don't have an A, so it's D down to R. But if I then say DESC, and that has to go here right after the order by, put my semicolon in, now we go from R at the top down to Dan and then null, which is considered the lowest value alphabetically. So you can change that DESC. I think you can even say ASC if you wanted to for ascending, which is, again, the default. So we're going from null, then Dan, A down to Z for Raymond, R. We don't have a Z. And we can also do numbers, of course. This is probably more common than alphabetizing things. Let's see. Let's look at our books again. We've got, how about release year or stock quantity or pages? Let's sort by pages to start. So let's select title and pages from books. Okay, and I want to sort by pages. So I'll do an order by pages. And then do I want the default order of ascending or do I want descending? Well, if I do ascending, the default, we start with null because of that one bad book I inserted, which is fine. I didn't specify a pages value. And then we have 176 pages up to 634 pages. And then, of course, we could change that to be ascending instead. Additionally, we could sort by released year. What about if I tried this? Released year. What happens here if I'm not even selecting released year? It's there. I'm pretty sure it's called released year. We could always verify. Yeah, released underscore year. It's numeric, but I'm not selecting it. I'm only selecting title and pages. What happens? Well, it actually still works. If you take a look here, we have Cannery Row all the way up to Lincoln in the Bardo. Now, if I put released year in here so that we can actually see it, you'll see the order doesn't change. We go from Cannery Row, again, I'm ignoring the null, Cannery Row up to 2017 for Lincoln in the Bardo. So that's probably not that common to sort by or order by some column that you're not even selecting, because you won't be able to see, the values that you're sorting by, but you can do it. So we have a bit more to talk about with order by, but I'm going to split it into 2 videos to try and, preserve your sanity, I guess. I'll see you in the next one.